Shakur's very athletic, very talented. So is Teofimo. He's more explosive with power, but Teofimo is very athletic.
Skill for skill, as far as equality, to me, Bud and Canelo are equal because when they're in their careers. Because how accomplished they are. These two guys are also equal when they're in their careers because they're accomplished, but not as accomplished as these two. But they're still equal.
Sure.
Accomplished. You understand me?
I understand Shakur being the favorite, but I wouldn't count Teofimo out. To me, it's more of a closer 50-50 fight than what is going to probably be the betting odds, where I think Shakur is going to be the favorite because of more consistent performance.
As the boxing world heats up before the massive Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez clash, predictions are flying and opinions are split. But one voice standing firm is Ben Whitaker, who is fully backing Shakur to get the job done. While he openly respects Lopez's explosive athleticism and his proven ability to shine on big nights, Whitaker believes the real difference comes down to experience, arguing that Stevenson's years of elite-level competition around the world, both as an amateur and a professional, have shaped him into a more polished, smarter, and more dependable fighter. According to Whitaker, that high-level seasoning gives Shakur the edge when it matters most, making him the safer pick in a fight where one mistake could decide everything. And that's exactly why this matchup could shock a lot of fans before the final bell.
Go on, boy Shakur. I just think we'll just keep the distance, keep it clean, fight when he needs to, box when he needs to. But I do like Lopez. He's very athletic. He knows how to box. And I think when he's an occasion like this, he does rise to it. But I just think Shakur's been around the world as an amateur as well as a pro. I think he's more of a seasoned fighter.
Hall of Fame trainer Abel Sanchez stepped in with a sharp breakdown of how this fight could unfold, laying out two very different game plans that could decide everything. He made it clear that Shakur Stevenson's path to victory depends on controlling distance, staying disciplined, and turning the ring into his playground, while Teofimo Lopez has no choice but to push the pace, take risks, and force the action from the opening bell with smart, calculated pressure. But after dissecting every angle of this chess match, Sanchez stunned many by calling it right down the middle, predicting a draw where both fighters steal key rounds, trade momentum, and leave fans debating the result long after the final bell, making this clash one that could divide the boxing world.
Shakur's a great talent, and Teofimo looked great in his last fight. Of course, he didn't have Shakur in front of him, but I think that for Shakur, he has to keep the fight at his distance. If he does that, I think it's a win for him. Teofimo, he's more, he wants to draw you in, he wants to counter punch. He's gonna have to be a different guy this time. He's gonna have to attack. He's gonna have to be leading the fight, or else it's gonna be a boring fight. I don't think it'll be a boring fight, but if he sits back and waits for Shakur's gonna wait for him. There's not gonna be exciting. But I think Teofimo will attack. I think Teofimo has to attack. I think Teofimo has to do what Zepeda did, except for Teofimo's a lot more talented than Zepeda was. So I think that honestly, I see a draw. I don't know why I see a draw, but I just see them both having great rounds and giving us the kind of fight that I think the public is looking for.
Looking at it from another angle, Gary Antuan Russell broke the matchup down as a true coin flip, saying this fight is 50-50 because both men walk in with elite confidence and belief. He pointed out that Teofimo Lopez clearly has the edge in raw strength and explosive athletic ability, but he also stressed that Shakur Stevenson holds the more dangerous advantage in ring intelligence and clean, technical boxing. According to Russell, this bout comes down to the oldest debate in the sport, power versus skill. And when those two forces collide at this level, predicting a clear winner becomes nearly impossible, which is exactly what makes this fight so compelling to watch until the very end.
Teofimo versus Shakur, just looking at that fight stylistically, how does it play out in the ring?
It's 50-50. You know, in order for you to participate in this sport, you gotta have a high level of confidence. I feel like both of them has a high level of confidence, Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, but styles make fights. Naturally, I think Teofimo Lopez is stronger than Shakur. Naturally, I think he has more athleticism than Shakur, and he got a good IQ on the sport itself. But Shakur I feel like he's a more smarter fighter. He's a more technical fighter.
When Roy Jones Jr. weighed in, he didn't hesitate to raise eyebrows, instantly framing Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez as a pure skill-for-skill battle on the same talent level as a Crawford versus Canelo super fight, which instantly turned heads across the boxing world. He made it clear the gap isn't about ability, because in his eyes these guys are evenly matched, but about legacy, explaining that Stevenson and Lopez simply haven't had enough time yet to build the long list of career achievements that come with pound-for-pound greatness. According to Jones, at their current stage, this is a clash of equals with elite skill colliding head-on. The kind of matchup that proves boxing's future is already here and guarantees a fight so high quality it demands to be watched from the opening bell to the final second.
Teofimo Lopez. That's a good damn fight too. See, that fight is skill for skill as good as this fight. But it just haven't been around long enough to move except yet. But skill for skill, as far as equality, to me, Bud and Canelo are equal because when they're in their careers. That's how accomplished y'all. These two guys are also equal when they're in their careers. When they're accomplished, but that hasn't come to these two, but they're still equal.
As the hype kept building, the Inside the Ring panel started revealing their leanings, with Max Kellerman, Mike Carpenter, and others pointing toward Shakur Stevenson because of his elite defense. But Kellerman quickly made an important point that changed the tone of the conversation. He explained that leaning toward Shakur doesn't automatically mean picking him to win, because this fight is different from the rest. What makes it special, according to Kellerman, is that while many top fighters avoid Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez is doing the opposite, actively demanding this challenge. That fearless confidence, the willingness to step straight into danger, is what adds real tension to the matchup. And even if Stevenson looks like the technical favorite on paper, Lopez's mindset and hunger are exactly why this fight refuses to have a clear answer, and why fans won't want to blink until the final bell.
Theo is the most complete power in boxing. So you really don't know. I don't know. What do you say, Mike?
I like Shakur.
Who do you say?
Shakur.
I say Shakur too. Now, that's a difference between saying I'm saying Shakur will win the fight. I'm not saying that. I'm saying who should be favored?
Yeah, that's right.
The guy with the best defense usually wins it. But it's what's interesting to me about this is one of the issues this era is facing right now is the other fighters are at least giving the impression that they don't want it with Shakur because Shakur's better than they are, right? Teo, at least, is the dude who says, let's find out. And at least has convinced Shady on this set, who pays attention, I don't know who wins that fight.
Wait, real quick. So you say Shakur because he's probably a better boxer, correct?
I'm saying, why hasn't Tank mentioned his name either? Right?
I mean, but Tank don't mention nobody's name that's an elite fighter. He don't fight no elite fighters. Let's take him out.
Breaking it down from a fighter's point of view, Keyshawn Davis offered a sharp and realistic prediction, saying he sees Shakur Stevenson starting fast and taking control early with his clean, tactical style, but believes the fight shifts as Teofimo Lopez finds his rhythm and begins to assert his physical strength in the later rounds. Davis made it clear that momentum could swing as the fight unfolds, which is what makes it dangerous for both men. When the conversation turned to a possible future matchup between Davis and Lopez, he didn't dodge the question, explaining that everything depends on how Lopez looks against Stevenson, because a tough, competitive loss still keeps the fight interesting, while a bad performance would completely change how that matchup is viewed by fans and fighters alike.
Shakur wins the first round. As Shakur wins the second round, slowly, I think Teo is going to eventually start picking it up and start imposing his will.
Right.
And then, it's just going to go from there.
Oh, do we see you and Teo fight in the future?
Depending on what Shakur do with him.
Hey, losing to Shakur, though, that can't be a death sentence, right? We can still see Teo
It
back.
depends how bad he loses.
Wrapping up the breakdown, Insider Showbiz delivered a tense and thought-provoking take, leaning towards Shakur Stevenson, but warning fans not to get comfortable with that pick. He argued that while Shakur may be the cleaner and more technically refined fighter, his style can struggle against calm, sharp counterpunchers who don't waste movement, a profile that fits Teofimo Lopez almost perfectly. He backed this up by pointing to Lopez's disciplined wins over elite technicians like Vasily Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, showing that Lopez knows how to stay patient and strike at the right moments. According to Insider, at 140 pounds, Lopez's size, athleticism, and counter-punching power turned this into a real danger fight, where Stevenson may have the technical edge on paper. But one wrong read could flip the entire night upside down.
Teofimo knock out Shakur? No. Can Teo adjust to the point where he beats Shakur? You don't see how? Shakur hates slick and economic boxers. So does Teo. They both hate with each other on. Shakur looks great against volume punchers. De Los Santos sitting back and not being active. Shakur doesn't look good. That's when they say he's boring. The thing is, Teofimo Lopez is an excellent fighter. He beat Josh Taylor and Lomachenko. How did he beat Lomachenko? By being patient. Y'all are sleeping on Teo. And it's at 140. Now the thing what's wrong with Teo is, Teo also looks good as a counter puncher when you are a volume puncher too. Another thing is, Teo looks very great when he's dialed in. He fights more athletic than Shakur. Shakur fights far more technically sound, and he's a more gifted fighter skill-wise. I'm leaning towards Shakur, but Teo.
According to coach Breadman Edwards, the conversation shifts to reliability, as he emphasized that Shakur Stevenson's biggest strength is how consistently he shows up and performs at a high level every time out. He acknowledged that this dependability, combined with Teofimo Lopez's past difficulties against southpaws like Sandor Martin and Jermaine Ortiz, explains why Stevenson sits as the betting favorite. But Edwards didn't fully buy into the gap, making it clear that when you look beyond odds and focus on real performances, the fight is far tighter than people think. And in his eyes, it lands closer to a true 50-50 matchup, where one adjustment or one big moment could decide everything.
Shakur's consistency, I like the fact that every fight, pretty much, he shows up. I think he had maybe one bad night against De Los Santos. But other than that, he kind of shows up and does his thing. I like his consistency, and I can see why he would be the favorite, because Teofimo struggled with the southpaw guy. I forget his name. I'm being bad with names tonight. But this
starts with an S.
Yeah.
He also fought Puello. Sandor Martin.
Yeah, so I can see Shakur being in favor, but Teofimo is a unique guy, because in these fights, when he's the underdog, and like he just seems to rise to the occasion. So let me just say this. I understand Shakur being the favorite, but I wouldn't count Teofimo out. To me, it's more of a closer 50-50 fight than what is going to probably be the betting odds, where I think Shakur is going to be the favorite because of more consistent performance.
Timothy Bradley didn't hold back and turned the discussion into a straight-out challenge aimed at Teofimo Lopez, calling him out for what he sees as avoiding the toughest tests, especially a fight with Devin Haney. Bradley urged Lopez to drop the attention-grabbing talk and antics and actually face Shakur Stevenson, who is moving up in weight specifically to fight him. While he admitted Lopez has real talent, he criticized him for doing too much talking without consistently proving it in the ring, making it clear that words mean nothing at this level. According to Bradley, the Stevenson fight is Lopez's moment of truth, the one chance to back up all the noise and show he can stand his ground against hungry, dangerous challengers. Because if he can't deliver here, the questions about him will only get louder.
See that fight playing out. I know you're familiar with both of them. What do you think?
Teofimo Lopez, don't run. You ran from the Haney fight already, dude. Come on, don't run from this one, bro. For real, bro. Stop with all the antics, bro. I know you like attention, but damn, get in there and fight against Shakur Stevenson, bro. For real. You know what I'm saying? Stop playing around. Shakur ain't playing. No, Shakur ain't playing. No tune-ups. Coming up to see you in your weight, 5 pounds above 135. He can beat you. He knows how to beat you. That's what he believes in his heart, you know. Teo, you're talented. Yeah, you are, man. But damn, you talk too much and you don't back it up.
Sean Porter offered a calmer but razor-sharp take on the matchup, acknowledging Teofimo Lopez's explosive natural power while stressing that managing that energy is what will decide how effective he really is. Porter gave Shakur Stevenson a clear 60-40 edge, crediting his sharper offense, tighter defense, and overall control of the ring. He made it clear he doesn't see Lopez simply outboxing Stevenson, saying the only real path to victory is disrupting Shakur's rhythm and forcing him out of his comfort zone. But Porter also warned that this approach demands extreme discipline, especially in the later rounds, because if Lopez loses control or slips, technically even once, Stevenson's precision and composure could shut the door fast.
Teofimo is explosive. He came into the game, that's a part of his DNA, right? But if you don't learn how to control your DNA, you just explosive. You just, and so he's got to hone in on that, be precise against Shakur.
Lamont Roach gave one of the most brutal and psychology-heavy takes on the fight, explaining that his pick for Shakur Stevenson has little to do with physical talent and everything to do with mindset. He openly admitted that Teofimo Lopez is the more explosive athlete, but argued that those gifts won't matter in a long, draining 12-round chess match against a calm technician like Stevenson. In Roach's view, Lopez isn't mentally built for that kind of fight and would spend the night frustrated, reaching, and falling a step behind as Shakur slowly takes control round after round, leading him to a blunt conclusion that Stevenson would cruise to what he described as a fairly easy win.
Shakur to beat a guy like Teofimo Lopez.
Even though Teofimo has like a good skill set, and some power and athleticism, I just don't think it's enough. I think mentally, like he's not equipped to be in there with a guy like Shakur for 12 rounds. He's going to be frustrated. He's going to be outclassed. I think he's going to be just by the wayside or step behind every single round. So I think Shakur beats him in that fairly easy.
Teddy Atlas shifted the conversation away from just technique and mindset and straight into why this fight is must-watch television, pointing out that while Shakur Stevenson is incredibly gifted and athletic, Teofimo Lopez matches that athleticism and brings even more explosive power to the table. He framed the matchup as a collision between two elite athletes at the top of their physical abilities, with Lopez holding the clear edge when it comes to raw force and sudden bursts. Atlas made it clear that this is the kind of fight fans crave, full of tension and unpredictability, and closed by fueling the hype even more, saying there's a lot to love about this matchup, and that his final breakdown and official pick would come only after a deep film study, leaving everyone waiting for what could be a game-changing verdict.
One thing that I love about this fight, Bud, Shakur's very athletic, very talented. So is Teofimo. He's more explosive with power, but Teofimo is very athletic. He is very talented. You got two athletic guys, two talented guys. Again, Teofimo I would favor with the power. This is going to be interesting. I'll give you my breakdown. I'll give you my pick when it gets closer and I do all my film work. But I'll tell you, it's a lot to like about these two athletic, talented fighters.
From Dalton Smith's point of view, this fight hits closer to home because he's been in the ring with Shakur Stevenson long before the spotlight, sparring with him back in their amateur days in Colorado. Smith made it clear that both men are elite and called the matchup a true 50-50, but his first-hand experience ultimately shaped his pick. He described Stevenson as an unbelievable fighter whose success doesn't surprise him at all, saying his talent has always been obvious even before the fame. Smith also added that a recent catch-up with Shakur reminded him that he's not just great in the ring, but a solid person outside of it too, and that personal history, combined with what he's felt firsthand in sparring, is why he slightly leans towards Stevenson in what he believes will be a razor-close high-level battle.
It's a great fight. Obviously, I've known Shakur from the amateur days. I've sparred him over the years in Colorado when, I was over there on training camps and stuff. So, Shakur's a great fighter, so is Teo. And I really think it is a 50-50 fight, but I think I'd have to favour Shakur in that one.
How is it sparring with Shakur Stevenson? A guy like that?
Yeah, it was good. Like I said, Shakur's always been a great fighter. Obviously, I've always held my own in any sport. You know what I mean? That's why I'm world level. But Shakur is an unbelievable fighter. What he's achieved through the amateurs as a professional. He's a good guy. I remember seeing him after his last fight against Zepeda. I was there. I had a catch up, I had a picture and stuff with him. So Shakur's a good guy, and I'm favoring him in the TO fight.
Oh, you guys tune in early 2026. It's going down. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez, sugar and sweet. We're gonna make it nice and pretty for you.
When you stack all the expert opinions together, most signs point towards Shakur Stevenson using his sharp technique, consistency, and mental control to edge out a decision win. But counting out Teofimo Lopez would be a huge mistake because his explosive power and history of beating the odds make him a dangerous underdog who can flip the fight in a single moment. This clash really comes down to whether Shakur can slow the pace, control the ring, and shut down Lopez's unpredictable firepower before it erupts. And that uncertainty is exactly why this fight is unmissable. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more deep fight analysis, turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update, and drop your pick in the comments, because this is one fight the boxing world will be arguing about long after the final bell. Much love from the Fighters Arena Pro Team.